Hello everyone! Daisy's kind of roaming around. The thing that I want to talk about today are technology addictions and what kinds of technology addictions there are and whether or not I think they're a problem or if they even exist at all. And so going in with technology addictions, the first one I want to talk about are cell phones, such as this cheap thing that's like 1,000,000 years old. Most days people have smartphones, but that doesn't mean that people still don't text a lot. I don't think that texting is really an addiction, because if you think about it, what did kids do before they had texting? At least for me and my friends, when we were in elementary school before we had phones, we would still call each other and we would still be talking for the same amount of time. So that's why I don't exactly think that texting is an addiction. Now, I do think that in some situations, yes, it could be considered an addiction, such as if someone is constantly texting in class, and that's, first of all, very disrespectful for to the teacher. And I think that in cases like that where someone is just not respecting others, like if they're texting and like when they're having a face-to-face conversation with someone and they're texting while the person's talking to them, like, I think that every now and again that's okay, but if it gets to the point where it's every single time, then I think that can start to be a problem. The other thing in relation to phones are with smartphones and how people can play games on their smartphones. I'm not familiar with too many games, but I know that there's Angry Birds and something called Temple Run, which I played Angry Birds once and I've never played Temple Run. And Fruit Ninja, is that still a thing? I don't necessarily think that people are like addicted to their phones and like the games that are on them, but I do think that people can be excessive with it. That's probably a word I should have used when talking about texting. Like, it's fine in moderation, but if it gets to the point where it's excessive and you're doing it in class, or if you're doing it to the point where it's rude for you to be doing it, that's the point where I think some actions need to be taken to stop it. The last thing I want to touch on is social networking and why I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I have a personal Facebook and Tumblr and a blog spot. I don't think those are bad things. I don't understand why people get so riled up about the Facebook debate, like, oh, is it a good or bad thing? It's like, it can be good or bad. Nothing is purely just one or the other. Let's be real here, because there are a lot of good uses of time on Facebook. Every single person has a different definition of what wasting time is. So for me, I would not want to be on Facebook for 4 hours playing Farmville. But ultimately, if someone is happy doing that with their time, then I don't see how it's an addiction. What if they were spending those 4 hours reading? Would you call that an addiction? You wouldn't. Obviously, reading and playing Farmville are different, but I do think that some people just need to lay off a little bit when it comes to this. I would really like to keep this conversation going, and if anyone would like to talk about it in the comment section or leave a video response, that would be super duper duper cool, and I would love that, because I want to know what everyone else thinks about this. I want to hear your guys' opinions, and I will see you out very soon.